Just want to remind you guys that, or whoever stumbles upon this video, that I do this for myself and nobody else. But yesterday I traded this. I slept throughout the entire morning. I was very exhausted. Didn't even want to get out of bed, so I missed the whole market open. And yeah, I was happy that I missed it because I was tired as fuck. And looking at this, knowing that it's the first red day, I probably would have got caught up in this squeeze. But I mean, knowing that it's um, market, not market open, but I would have been trying to short closest to market open, and seeing that it squeezed like this, I probably would have never got in. It'd been uncomfortable, or I probably started shorting here. But looking at this right here, this is my first time looking at it. Looking right here, this probably would have scared me out and made me hesitant, and I probably would have chased it and got stuck in this squeeze. So I'm completely glad that I missed it because I'm not disciplined enough and skillful enough to get out, and I'm not. I don't have a well. I don't control my emotions or regulate my emotions well enough to be down a trade and get out. So I have to be very careful in trading and trade very small. But ended up squeezing, and by the time I woke up, um, around 12, getting ready for school, um, I saw that uh, that this it was just spiking, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching it on my phone while I'm in class, and I'm like, okay, this was a good chance to short, or I don't know where I was looking at it really. This is a good chance to short. I was watching it since I woke up, and like multiple chances to short would have gotten squeezed on. Um, and then finally, I um I was like, you know what, let me get in, and I got in here, and I got in small because I'm like, okay, and let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, so I got in small here, and I'm like, okay, I chased it. I was trying to short here, but I chased it. Um, and this is why I said I'm glad I missed the morning because if I didn't, I would have been chasing, and I would have gotten squeezed badly. But I chased it here with 300 shares, which is still big, but it was small to me at the time. And um, I calculated my risk. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cover if it breaks this high, and I was like $150 loss. And then I'm like calculating this. I'm like, okay, if it breaks here, that's like, um, you know, under $300 loss or under $250 loss. That's still big, but I don't want to size them too big. And then it started pushing up against me, and for some reason, I just bought more. I short sold more shares. I just added into a short. I don't honestly. I don't know why I did it. I think I just did that at impulse. Um, and I honestly thought it was just gonna uh pull back because it. Yeah, I remember now. So it dropped um straight like right here. After it spiked, it just came right crashing right back down. But then I noticed it didn't break this support level right here. And to me, I was thinking, okay, it didn't break the support level, um, but it's close to it, so it might just drop. And I took my eye off of it for a quick second or a few seconds, maybe like 10 or 20 seconds. And when I looked again, it was squeezing on me. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was down probably, I don't even know, from my average was 45.21. So let's do the math here. Um, 45.21 minus, and then what was my average? What was the highest point here? 46.22. So I was down $1 per share. So I was down $500 here, and and I don't know, for some reason I feel like it was more, but it came crashing down, and at this point I was down like, I saw it was down like $90, and then I made a little bit here, but I was like, okay, because it did this big crash, I was up a little bit here as well, but because it did this big crash, I was thinking, okay, I just did this massive pullback from over $1, $1.22. So I'm like, okay, then this could be it. This can start crashing. So I let it sit. And someone was talking to me at the time, and it distracted me, and I really didn't like that. But it is what it is. And it failed to break this support level as well, and then just started squeezing, 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 and I was just like, fucked. And not only that, it was a bad time to trade because I traded this while I was in class. I also traded while I was in tutoring. So it's like I'm trading while I'm busy using my computer. I'm taking an exam. I'm trading while I'm taking an exam, and I am trading while I'm tutoring while I'm on my computer doing math assignments, not 100% focused. And I got this assignment, but I was just so uncomfortable. Like it was just the worst. It wasn't even an undisciplined trade. It was just such an inconvenient time for me to trade, and I did it. And I gotta watch my time. Like not cutting my losses here, you know, it was a mistake. I took my eye off of it, and then adding here, I thought it was just gonna keep crashing down. So I left the add here, and then when it squeezed up on me, I was fucked. When it came crashing back down here, I thought it was gonna keep going down, but that's my, it can't use your imagination. But I was looking at the probabilities. I'm like, there's a chance that it might just keep going down from here. When it didn't, I should have cut here, even though it already broke this level. You don't want to, you don't know where it's gonna go. You don't want to keep losing, so I should have cut. Um, and I can tell traders were using this level as a resistance as well because you see you see that it starts coming down, pulling back a little bit. But they were wrong. We're all wrong, and it kept pushing. Um, so that's it. I shouldn't have been trading period because I was busy, and the whole time it was squeezing like this, I was in tutoring. Um, and at this point, I was down 46.91. I was down almost $2 per share. Um, so 46.91 minus my average, which is 45.21. I was down $1.70 per share times, and I was in 500 shares. I was down almost a grand. That put me under PDT, so I couldn't add, I couldn't do nothing. I only keep $500 over PDT in my account so that I don't fuck up anything, any money that I gained. Um, so what happened after this? So while I was in tutoring, um, I was barely even watching it with one eye. I had Yahoo Finance on my phone and my broker open on my laptop. And every chance I got, the recruiter wasn't looking or wasn't talking, I would I would go into my phone, refresh the page on Yahoo Finance to look to see if it trended, and I had to memorize the numbers. I had to memorize the numbers of what the stock was instead of looking at the chart because I needed to make sure that I wasn't down on my trade. And each second I went by, or each chance I got, I just kept looking. And that was just a horrible time to trade. I should have just gotten out or never traded, period. I should have never traded. But because I don't know what made me decide. I thought I would have enough time, and I thought my tutoring was later on in the day instead of during market hours. Um, and I made a mistake, and it 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 you guys you can see here, you know it's a dumb trade honestly, and luckily it started just fading, and I could assume that it was gonna fade towards the end of the day because longs they want to get out of their position. It's been uptrending all day, as you can see. It's just been uptrending all day. It's gonna have to have a pullback. So um, I knew that, and I didn't know how much it would pull back. I was hoping it was gonna pull back a lot. It didn't do it as much as I wanted to. And then towards the end, the last 5 minutes of the day, I'm trying to get out within the last minute because you know I'm trying to get that extra $100. But um, honestly, it was stupid for me to be trying to get an extra $100, and I didn't want to go into after hours with this trade. The volume was gonna be dead. Um, um, last week when I traded it, and I'll show you here. But last week when I traded it in the after hours, uh, it had no value after hours, and it started pushing up. Um, let me show you after hours here. Yeah, so right here. After hours, you see here, you know, I was supposed to get out where it closed, which was, I don't know where it closed at. Right here. It just had no volume and kept pushing up and kept pushing up. And I had no choice but to take. I was sitting on my I was sitting at on my order, had my order sitting, but it just kept pushing up. And if you see the next day, it went even higher. So I would have been down a lot if I waited till um, market open. Yes, it pulled back and it broke that low, but still, I don't want to sit and wait. Um, I would have been waiting the whole weekend, and then I would have been waiting the whole weekend, and then I didn't even wake up on time for the market, so I would have probably never exited this trade here, and I was just got squeezed even more. So going into yesterday, I glad that I should have gotten out before market ended, the market hours ended, and market after hours opened. Um, but once I saw, okay, a few minutes went by, I saw the same trend. It was just going to keep um, uh, uptrending. I had to come to a realization. If you get out right here at this lowest point, you're making an extra $100, maybe an extra 150. that's not worth it to me to be getting squeezed um, during after hours. So I just hit uh, the ask, and I got out for a $201 gain, and I was okay with it. Um, I didn't care about this extra $100 gain, but overall, this trade was bad because it was a bad trade for me to do because it was bad timing. Um, I didn't cut my losses. I sized them too big. I did everything wrong. Um, uh, I shorted right after this uh, right after 2 o'clock, which is from 11 to 2. That's the slow period, really 12 to 2. But I shorted knowing that it held up throughout the entire slow periods. When it's supposed to be going down, it held up. So what does that tell you, Sonny? That tells you that okay, it's gonna keep uptrending from here. If it held up during the worst time, it's strong enough to hold up when it's supposed to be going up. So why would you short here? So I was in the wrong mindset as well, and thankfully it went my way. But I got to be more careful with shorting, and I got to be careful with size because in the time of day that I short because um, I'm not. That's gonna only put me in a bad situation. But now we're gearing towards market open. This stock has just been downtrending, and I believe that it's just gonna come open up market open and just panic. And I want to take a small short in, but I'm uncomfortable. Um, but we'll see.